the idea with with Kite when we started off was to keep it as simple as possible. So ideally, there was no need to actually run. I mean, the way we had planned the platform was that there should be no need to actually run a tutorial. Everything should be self-explanatory, right? So, but then yeah, so as and when we spend some time, you realize that there are bits of Kite that that users have to be made aware of. So now, so firstly, Kite seems very minimalistic. But then there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of effort that's gone from our tech team on this, right? So some of the cool things that you as a user probably doesn't get to know is stuff like the entire market watch and Kite uses less than half kb per second, which is probably less than even the it's less than definitely the most of the Indian platforms, but it's probably also much lesser than the international ones out there, right? And also, the average order placement per second is a few hundred milliseconds, for a single order. Every day as Kite, we serve over 5 million requests. So right now, I'd say in India, it's probably the most active trading platform. So now, so I'll quickly run by like a demo of Kite. If any of you guys have a question, you can just let me know once we've finished the webinar, right? So firstly, on the dashboard, when you log into kite.zerodha.com, I guess you can see the different languages that you can basically opt to trade on. So you can choose a language and then log in. So I'll keep it easy. I'll do it in English. So to enter my password, my 2FA answers, right? So yeah, so this is the dashboard, right? So which gives you a quick overview of everything that's happening on Kite, right? Right. So sorry. Okay. So yeah. So I'll speak a bit slow, right? Just a sec. Okay. So yeah. So as soon as you log into the dashboard, so firstly, today is mock trading day. So please don't get confused with all this live takes of Nifty being up 6% and all of that. So this is a day when exchanges are open to let brokers and try out their trading platforms. So you can place orders today, and not worrying about any real profit and loss on this. So all the trades done today will be removed by the end of the day, right? So yeah, so we have a small note. So usually if there are any important announcements like this, so this is a place we will use on Kite to announce. As you can see, there is Saturday, 4th June mock trading announcement here, right? Now, the dashboard, as you can see, it gives you a quick overview on what's happening on the account. So for example, this account has 10 holdings. There is 6,000 rupees in margin available, 7,000 in total account value. Some people have asked us, what is K? K stands for 1,000, so instead of showing a big number, so we use a K. So 1K means 1,000. 6.14K means 6,140 rupees. So yeah, so that's essentially how the K thing works. So you can actually see the equity and commodity balances separately. So if there's a margin used, it will show up as margin used. Holdings, I mean, it's a nice little tree map, as you can see. So total investments is essentially the price at which you bought. So you can actually, if you can see this dots here, you can actually see the tree map change, right? So this is a tree map of your investment when you actually bought all these stocks. So for example, ITC, I bought it at bought stocks worth 52,339. If you click on current value, you can see it's actually up 7,000 rupees. So the total PNL on this portfolio is 28,000. You can also see just the PNL piece, which is actually quite cool. So you can actually see the biggest stocks which have made you profits, which are the biggest stocks that have caused you a loss, right? And yeah, so same way the positions, if I have multiple positions, you can see PNL on all these positions here, right? So right now, I think I took a one of those mock trades. So my Reliance is currently in PNL of 37.5. So positions will show you uh, all that is important for the day. Now, a lot of people have asked, why go so minimalistic? I mean, as you can see, the platform, this is off, completely off compared to a traditional uh, broking platform, which has got a lot of black, which has got a lot of block green and block red colors. So one of those things I think we have realized after talking to a lot of traders, is that the profitable ones are those who manage to stay calm when market goes against them. So now the idea with the platform was to kind of convey the same message. So you don't want, when the market's really volatile, or you are seeing a loss, you don't want too many instigations out there, right? So you don't want too much of red green happening. So there's already volatility. There is, so the idea was to keep this as calm as possible for you, for traders like us, actually. So yeah, so now I have added a bunch of stocks on my market watch here on the left, right? So but typically if you land on a market watch, this is how it'll look. It'll say nothing here, use the search bar to enter, right? So now I think the search bar again is probably the first of its kind in India. So it's quite cool, actually. So if, for example, if I want to search for, say, let's start with the stock, right? So if I want to search for Reliance, I'll say Reliance. Now by default, so when I say Reliance, I can actually say equity, or I can say, if I want Reliance NSE, I can just say Reliance NSE. If I want Reliance BSE, I can just say Reliance BSE, right? So a lot of people have asked this question: how do I add a BSE stock? If you want to add a BSE stock, just search for Reliance and then just type BSE. It's as simple as that. Right. Now, the same way for people who trade futures and options, if you want to search for Nifty, say June futures, say Nifty June FUT, right? So you can, sorry, uh, June FUT, right? So you can actually see all the Nifty June futures. Yeah, the one that you are, if say it's a Nifty futures, you can just click here and say add it onto the market watch, right? So uh, uh, people ask for indices. So one thing we have done is, if you search for index, you can actually see all the indices available here, right? So if you want index and you want Nifty, you just have to say Nifty, right? Index, and they say Nifty, and then you can see the Nifty 50 index. So you can add this Nifty 50 index onto the market watch, right? So so yeah, so this is essentially how you can add indices. Okay, so we've also done this small little thing, which is, so if let me show the right. So the indices are kind of slightly in gray and bolder font. So so if for people who want to add multiple indices, you can essentially just add it here, right? Now, okay. Also, the cool thing here is everything that you see on the dashboard here is accessible through a shortcut key. So I think a lot of people have missed out on the shortcut keys. Okay, so you can actually use the down arrow to move up and down the watch list, right? A buy is a B, right? So say, instead of actually hovering on the stock and saying buy, sell, market depth, etc., you can actually just come down to the stock. Say if I want to buy Reliance, come down to Reliance and say B. So that's basically buy, right? Same way you can change it to sell. Escape is ESC. If you don't want the button, you can say S and then click on escape button on your keyboard. It goes, right. And for all these order book, holdings, positions, funds, you again have shortcut keys. So O is for order book, H is for holdings, P is for positions, F is for funds, right? So essentially, you uh, you know so you don't have to remember anything. The first character of each of these words is actually the shortcut key, right? The only one which you might want to remember, the shortcut key, is to switch between the market watches. If you want to go from market watch 1 to market watch 2, you press Control Shift and 2, right? If you want to go from market watch 2 to market watch 3, Control Shift and 3, and or no, if you want to go back to 1, it is Control Shift and 1, right? Um, so yeah, so that's how straightforward the entire platform is, um, right. So I've made a bunch of notes here to kind of make sure I don't miss out on anything. So, right, so just give me a sec, right? So um, right. So yeah. So even for option contract, I mean, if you want to search for a certain option contract, say Nifty, say 8400 calls. So you just have to say Nifty 8400C, and then you want the month June, you say June. If you want July, you say July. So it's and then hover on this and click on plus, and it gets done, right? Now each of these market watches can hold a maximum of 20 stocks. So if you 20 scripts. If you add more than that, you'll typically get an error called not possible. So let me show it to you. Say Reliance Capital, right? So let me add some more stocks. Say Bank Nifty Future. So as you can see, as soon as you hit the limit, it says item already exists on the market watch, right? So you can hit on close, and you can go to a next market watch and add that if you want, right? But like I said, one of the coolest thing about Kite is the fact that the entire watch list, consumes less than half a kb per second, so which is way, way, way lesser than most platforms out there. So right. So now, just give me a sec. Okay. So now, so I'll just quickly run by on placing orders, right? Now, a lot of newbies, I mean, this may not be really applicable for people who've been trading with us for a while, right? For a lot of newbies, the questions typically is, say if I'm clicking on buy, what is the CNC and what is MIS, right? So you can basically buy, right? So we have a small little tooltip which says cash and carry and MIS, which is margin intraday square off. So what this means is if you take a position as MIS, you can only trade until 3:20 p.m. on a particular day, right? In case of commodities, it's still 25-30 minutes before the market closing, which is around 11:30 in the night, right? So all MIS positions essentially get squared off intraday. So all CNC positions you can carry forward to the next day. Right now, CNC is, if you want to carry forward a future contract to the next day, so it's basically through a product called normal. So a normal future order essentially means that you can carry forward the contract, until the expiry day, as long as you have enough margin, right? So what we have done is, if you actually go to zerodha.com/FAQ, right? So we have a section here which called margin leverage policy. So so we have explained all of this here, right? As in, so everything that you need to know, right? So if you use MIS as a product type, the compulsion is that you can trade only during the day, but if you use it, you get more leverage. So with 10,000 rupees, you can buy stocks for up to 20,000 rupees, right? Uh, Now in this order window, as I said, other than choosing what kind of product type you want, you can also choose what kind of order you want, right? You can choose if it's a market order, a limit order. I mean, these are straightforward. I guess all of you know this: a stop loss order and a stop loss market order, right? So these are the different kind of orders you can place. Okay, so now I think one of those questions I've answered online quite often is, how do I, say for example, Reliance stock is currently at 102. So in a market watch, I can click on market depth to see the best 5 bids and offers. So Reliance, for example, right now is 1033, right? Now what if I want to buy the stock at 1038, right, and not before that? right? In that case, you need to use either a stop loss order or a stop loss market order to enter, right? So you need to enter with the trigger price, right? Say, let me show with an example, right? Say I use stop loss M, so I put a trigger of say 1038, right? And say I click on buy, right? Now the transaction password is asked only one time during the day, right? So from the second time onwards, there's no transaction orders, right? So as as you could see, there was an order placed, this thing, right? So I can go to order book. I can see there's an order called trigger pending, right? Trigger pending at 1038 as a trigger, right? So what this means is only if Reliance stock goes above 1038 will this order get executed, right? It won't get executed now, right? Because if you place an order right now, at 1038, since the market is, you're trying to buy above the current market price, all these orders becomes market order, right? So if you want to buy above a certain price or sell below a certain price, the way to go is using trigger orders, right? So trigger orders can be fired using SL and SLM, these two options. Now, another very popular question that I'm asked is, say, assuming I have a trigger order, right? So with a limit, see, a stop loss market, what it does is as soon as your trigger is hit, a market order is sent to the exchange, right? In case of a stop loss limit, which is just a normal SL, so you're also mentioning your say, for example, I set a trigger at 1030, and say I set a trigger of buying it 1031, and say I place a limit order, right? Now, as you can see, this order here, right? So, so the trigger is 1030. That means as soon as the market goes to 1030, a limit order of 1031 is sent to the market. So now a question that I'm asked a lot of times is, why does sometimes what happens is when market suddenly moves up or down very fast, as soon as the trigger is hit, the limit order becomes pending in the system, right? And this can actually cause a lot of confusion, right? So the thing to remember is, uh, if you want a guaranteed execution of a trigger order, use the stop loss market, right? So if you are very particular about the price, then use a stop loss limit. But just reiterating that, a stop loss limit doesn't always guarantee execution, right? So stop loss limit might sometimes just go as a pending order, right? So okay, let me go back to my order screen, right? So now, as you know, we have also introduced cover orders and bracket orders on Kite. Uh, a cover order is, I mean, I think, if you actually visit this FAQ link, so we have explained everything here, right? So we have explained all the different order types and how to use them, right? Now, in a cover order, what happens is that when you're buying, you're telling us a fixed stop loss, right? For example, you're buying Reliance right now at market price, and you're telling us that you will have a stop loss of 1010, right? And say you place a buy, right? So as soon as you place the buy, as you can see, a cover order, this is the order book. You can see here a cover order got completed. So the average price at which this one share of Reliance got bought is 1021.95, for which a stop loss is already placed in the system, right? So I can go to the positions tab, right? And you can see here in the positions tab that Reliance cover, so I have one share of Reliance which is bought at 1021.95. The current price is whatever. And the product type is cover order. When I say product type is cover order, you know that there is a guaranteed pending stop loss order in the system, right? So you cannot cancel the stop loss order. The only way to exit a cover order is either to come here and say exit positions. You can either do that, or you can hover on this and say exit positions, like I can click here, or you can come to order book, click on stop loss order which is pending for that cover order, and say click on exit, right? So I say click on exit, it got exited, right? So yeah, as you can see here, in the executed orders down here, so the cover order was bought at 1021.9 and sold at 101.5. If I come to positions, you can see that as well, right? As you can see, the position is exited. As soon as the position is exited, the bold becomes a gray color, right? And you can see the PNL on this. If you want the details, you can actually click on that and you can see bought at this price, sold at this price, and your net PNL is how much, right? So a cover order essentially that does that. Now uh, a bracket order, what we have on our Nest and Pi platforms, the desktop platforms, we've actually gone ahead and simplified bracket orders quite a bit on Kite. So all you need to know when you're placing a bracket order on Kite is firstly a limit price at which you want to buy, right? Say assuming you want to buy Reliance at say 1019, right? Say, and then you want to have a stop loss on this of 1010, right? And you want to have a target at say 1030, right? So what this means is you're placing a limit buying order with a stop loss of 1010 and target of this, right? So you can click on buy, right? So so as you can see, so there is a bracket order which is open, right? And and as soon as the bracket order gets triggered, you know you can also sorry, it actually got completed, right? So the bracket order is bought at 1019.05, and one stop loss order and one, sorry, this is the target order, it's 1055.6, and one stop loss order is both placed in the system, right? So yeah, so that's how simple the bracket orders is in this, right? Now sometime, okay, now if you want to exit this 1019.05 bracket order position, come on either one of them and say exit, right? So if you say exit, so as you can see, both the positions got exited, right? So now uh, so basically what happened was your target got cancelled and your stop loss order got modified and got exited at market price. So Reliance bracket order was bought at 1019.05. It was sold at 1022.95. So if you come to positions, so as you can see, based on or in positions, all the product types are I mean, all if you even if you trade the same contract, all the product types are categorized. All the stocks are categorized based on the product types. So now Reliance, you have done a BO, you have done a CO, you have done also a CNC, which is basically a delivery buy, right? So all of them are showing separately, right? Now another question that I'm usually asked is, so for example, let me go to my holdings, right? So and say I exit my Infosys holdings, right? So let me just sell this at market price, right? So as soon as I sell at the market price, as you can see, my quantity became 0, right? So now if I come to positions though, you can see 1 minus quantity of CNC, right? So ideally, like a lot of people say, is that if I've exited Infosys, why are you showing me this -1 quantity of Infosys in my positions page, right? Now, the reason we show this is because there are a lot of our clients who sell stocks from their holdings for intraday, but if the price of the stock comes back up, they just buy it back, right? So that way, it ends up being an intraday trade, and no stock is ever taken from the demat account, right? Now, if you intend to do it, if you intend to come back, say assuming in the morning on a normal trading day, you sold Infosys shares, and by 2 o'clock you decided, no, I want to buy it back again, you can just come back to your open positions, come to CNC and say, just exit this position, say buy it back. So now what happens is, so essentially, so you have net no positions, right? So your holdings, for the day comes back to 1, right? So nothing is changed, right? And also, like for people who worry about taxation, etc., so if I'm holding the stocks for the last 3 months, 5 months, or if I want to play the 1 year long-term capital gain thing, right? So by doing this intraday trade, it doesn't affect my demat account. So so your holding period will remain the same um, as before, right? So uh, right. So uh, that's with positions. Um, right. So okay, just give me a second. Okay. So now because today is a mock trading is, some of this, some of what you're seeing here is not really very very right, as in, as you can, some of the prices that you're seeing, the market depth you're seeing, like, market never moves like this, right? So there's usually a lot of liquidity around these contracts, right? So I guess, so now, I mean, I'll quickly run by funds. So if you want to add funds, it's quite straightforward. The payment gateway opens up, if whatever bank you have selected, if it's HDFC. Now, if the bank is not, is one of those banks which is mapped to our payment gateway, then you will have to do an NEFT and RTGS, right? Now, the withdraw option is again, quite straightforward. So firstly, I think all of you must have used our back office platform Q. So ideally, say 3 to 6 months from now, we will probably not have two different platforms to do reporting and another platform to do for trading. So everything will be integrated in Kite. But until then, so if you click on withdraw, so what's happening now is you're actually taken to Q, where you can go and withdraw from, from the Q dashboard, right? So you cannot right now do it from um, um, so from within Kite, right? So same way, if you can see, right, for every um, in every tab, what we have done is we have given a link for you to log in, go to Q. For example, if you want to see a historical down, um, historical holdings, assuming like you want to see what was the holding you had on, uh, say say 2005 December 10th, right? You can just search the date, and that shows up on Q, right? So this was my holding on December 10th, right? So so same way, you can actually, what we have also done now is we've given you on these menus on holdings, especially, we have given you an option, and positions, we've given an option to download everything into a CSV. So if there's any calculation you want to run, you can quickly download all these entries onto a CSV, right? Something which is really, really cool about all these order book holdings and positions is a search and sort filter, right? So for example, say if I want to come to my executed orders and I just want to see my MIS orders, right? I just say MIS and hit enter, right? There's only one MIS rejected, right? So if I want to see only CNC orders, I can just do CNC and hit enter, right? So you can see all my CNC orders. Similarly, the same search can be done to say you want to see only Infosys orders, right? You can do only Infosys, right? So same kind of search options available everywhere, right? And you can also, sort this based on whatever, so from time to instrument to type. So by default, it is sorted by time. So but then you want to say sort by instrument, you can do that as well, right? So uh, so this search and sort is available for you on both holdings, positions, and order book. So right. Okay. So yeah. So I'm back to my dashboard. Okay. So coming back to here, if you want to if you want to access Q, you can also come back here and click on Q, which opens the Q dashboard once again, right? And we also have, I mean, I don't know how many of you seen it, but pulse.zerodha.com is probably the best aggregator of news right now. So because I'm a dedicated user of this. So every morning, so all you have to do is come here, just go through this bunch of news. So it essentially covers all the news that has come from all the financial media houses in India right now. So just by looking at this, you have an idea of what all news were released, from different houses, and you can do this without looking at any ads and all of that. So right. So yeah. So this is actually how simple the entire dashboard of Kite is. Uh, so it's really easy is to navigate, and so we also have this notification. I'm guessing because of the mock trading, it's not working, but every time you place an order, etc., you will get a notification here, right? A notification doesn't really mean order is executed. It's a notification to say the order was fired from your system, right? So okay, now coming back to, like, I think, some like probably the most popular request that people have is on charts. So let me uh, okay, so also one thing, I don't know if a lot of people compare, say that desktop platforms are much better than web. I mean, I also come from the same school of used to come from the same school of thoughts before Kite, saying that desktop is faster and things like that. But I can assure you that this probably is Kite is as fast as, as any desktop platform out there, right? So so if you want multi-screens, all you have to do is actually, right click on each of these windows and open it as a separate tab. So if you don't want it within the layout, just click on it, say open link as another tab, right? So, and you can arrange your holdings like this. So if you have a multi-monitor setup, you can actually just pop out each of these tabs. So right now I popped out holdings, but you can pop out positions, order book. So you can actually pop these out. So you can right click on this, say open link in new tab, right? And then and keep the new tab, like popped out and open like this. So it's quite straightforward actually. So right. Okay, so this is, yeah, this essentially everything there is to Kite. It's really simple, right? Now I'll quickly run by some of these charting features that people ask for, right? So let's say open chart for I think Nifty futures would be better. So let me open chart for Nifty futures, right? Right. So now the chart is looking weird because of the mock trading. So let me find a stock which doesn't look that weird. Okay, so yeah, so let me leave the mock data out, right? So because the prices are just all over the place, right? Okay, so this is how the chart looks. Again, we have conscious decisions to go white. The reason for going white, like I said earlier, was to ensure me and you as traders, when we are looking at this, we feel as calm as possible. White is as serene as it gets. Um, so yeah, so this is how a chart looks by default. Which is this chart's open within the main app, right? If you want it to be popped out, you can just click on pop out. Once popped out, just let me arrange this. Just give me a second, right? So once popped out, this is how the chart looks. Now you can have multiple pop-outs actually. So if you want to pop out chart for Cipla, say for example Cipla, you click on this, right? So this is again because of mock, right? So click on this pop out. So you have two charts popped out now, right? One is Reliance. I mean, I can just, right? So and one is Cipla. So you can, again, as I said, if you have multi-monitor setups, you can pop out as many charts as you want, and look at them for studies. So also, you can actually open the charts for all the stocks that are, if you're looking at a popped out chart and you want to switch between stocks for a chart, you can do it very easily here, right? You can but the stocks that you see here are essentially those which are on your watch list. So if you want to say open NTPC, I can do this, right? So if you say, let me go back to Reliance, right? So I mean, again, charts is, I think this is as simple as it gets actually. So we have, I think, over 100 odd studies here, right? So you can either search for a study, right? Say super trend, or say so when you click on search and click, you can just create a study. So if you want to remove the study, which is already added, it's a simple thing. Hover on this and right click, right? And you can say delete. Right now, I think a lot of them, and I've seen some queries where people have asked how to add exponential moving average, simple moving average, etc. So you can just come search for moving average, right? So when you click on moving average, there are all these different types of moving average here, right? So if you want exponential, you can just add exponential here, right? And also a very interesting thing, I mean, it's not interesting, it's part of the standard actually of most charting platforms. See, you can apply the moving average on any of this actually, right? So so the input field, so by default it's usually applied on the close of the candle, right? But if you want to apply it on the open of the candle, high of the candle, low volume, so you can actually apply it on any of this, right? So yeah, so I'll apply it on, say, the close of the candle. Say I will make it green, and there you go, right? So you have the moving average, so now, even with 100 plus indicators, I mean, I think we get at least 5 new indicator requests every week, right? So I hope you all appreciate that. It's technically, it's really tough for us to go out. I mean, I think there are like zillions of indicators out there, right? So it'll be really tough for us to go and support every indicator and build them out, right? So but that said, what we are doing, which will probably be the next really cool thing about Kite, is that we will have a marketplace where you can come and request for an indicator, and someone else can actually write it for you, for a fees, so because there are so many indicators out there, we are planning to go out and have that option for other people to build indicators for you, so and then for the guys who are building the indicators, we'll give you a dashboard where you can actually write this code and build your custom indicators. And even the marketplace will allow you to sell it for a fees, so right. So yeah, so that's how the studies is now. Studies, if you don't know the name of the indicator, you want to see everything at a time, you can click on show all. So basically a show all will list it out, so you can just scroll up and down, so all these 100 plus indicators, so will end up showing here right now. um, See, let me add navigator, make this look colorful, just one sec. Right, so now you also have a drawing tools here. So if you click on select tool, so you have all these drawing tools, so for people who do Fibonacci, so you can click here and apply the Fibonacci retracements. And right now the thing here is you also get options of what you want, retracements, arcs, fans. Then you also can choose the settings, essentially, because again, this Fibonacci, there are people who want it at different points, so you can actually control all of this yourself, so yeah, so let me close this, right? And then yeah, so you also have because I've seen and I still see a lot of people actually use paint, etc., to do annotations, so you can actually do that very easily on Kite, so if there is so you can actually save it. And also, if for all those people who like to share the studies that are done, you can actually click on a share button. A share button will give you a link. This link can be, for example, so this is my annotation that I just made, right? So hi, this is Nitin, this is my studies. So if someone wants to go out and share the studies that they made, you can actually just use a share link. This will the image gets saved on our servers, and you can then share the image on social media, or wherever you wish, right? Uh, so yeah, so this is as I said, uh, this is about charts, right? I mean, I'll tell you a couple of important things on charts, which are more technical actually. See, now if I go back to, for example, let me go back. Okay, so every second, right? If you look at the market depth, I mean, today is a mock day, so that's why you're not seeing too many ticks. But on a real trading day, right, in a second. Okay, so firstly, how charts work on the platform is that whatever ticks, whatever prices that is received by the platform gets plotted on the chart, right? If you see 1020 here, so as soon as the LTP is 1020, it gets plotted here, right? So now, but in a second on the real market, right, there could be like 100 ticks in 1 second, right? So it's technically impossible, okay, not just in India, anywhere in the world, to actually send all the 100 ticks in that 1 second to the trading platform, right? So typically what happens on any trading platform actually is you best get 2 or 3 ticks in 1 second, so in a second there'll be 2 or 3 ticks. So sometimes it is possible, I mean, this keeps coming back to us. I mean, I have answered this, I don't know, zillion times, on trading Q&A. I think, that's probably one of the most visited questions, right? It's the question usually is, you know uh, there is this price which is not showing on the chart. Why is that, right? Like I said, in a second there could be 100 ticks. So so it is very easily possible that we get only 3 ticks on the trading platform, so the rest of the 97 ticks could have at this 1 or 2 price points which doesn't get plotted on the chart, right? And that's a but the question typically there, what people ask is, I place a stop loss trigger, the trigger got hit, but I don't see the trigger price on the chart, right? So the answer to that is that if the trigger price is hit, you can be rest assured that it is hit on the exchange. The exchange has a trade verification module. You can go enter your order number and see that the trade has actually taken place on the exchange, right? Why is it not showing in the chart? Like I said, so a charting platform on the trading front end can probably receive 2 or 3 ticks a second, and not get 97 different ticks on that second, right? So that price that you got executed in could have been this 97 ticks, so yeah, so it's very important to know that, no trading platform, right? It's not technically possible, at least today. Probably tomorrow when we have gbps of internet speeds, available, that you can get a lot more ticks in a second, but at least not today. Not today. You will not be able to see all the ticks that happen on the platform, right? The same reason, for example, uh, what happens is, the chart that you're seeing is the chart that is getting formed from all the ticks that comes to your front end, right? Now, assuming your internet went down for 2 seconds, right? So what it means is, for those 2 seconds, you didn't get 2 ticks, so that means, for the 2 seconds there's a price point that you didn't see, right? Now, but if you refresh the chart, so what happens is, when you refresh the chart, the charting platform goes to our servers and fetches uh, the latest, the 2 seconds that you missed on, right? So sometimes it is possible that, a chart that you're looks something, right? But then as soon as you refresh, it looks a little different. The reason it's looking different is because that your trading front end, your laptop or your desktop didn't receive those 2 or 3 ticks which we received in our servers, right? So we store it in our servers and then we send it to you. So if you don't receive, if you when you refresh, you get to see a different looking chart, right? But to be very honest, I mean, I've seen a lot of people make big deal out of, not just at Zerodha, I mean, with various other trading and charting platforms. It's the same thing if you use Ami Broker, it's the same thing if you use Metastock. It doesn't change, right? I think I mean, there are just, I mean, I don't really think of people who use tick by tick data and things like that. So now, so it's very tough to capture every tick that happens on a trading platform, and unless you're a high frequency trader, who needs every tick for a decision making strategy, I don't really see, any point of making a big deal of missing out 1 or 2 ticks on I mean, I've been a trader throughout my life, so I mean, I've seen some traders making a big deal of missing 1 or 2 ticks. As I said, technically in India today, it's not possible to be able to see all the ticks that happen on a charting platform, right? So yeah, so that's about charts. Okay, just give me a second. No, I'll take all your questions, once I'm uh, done with this, so. mm, Right, just give me a second. Okay, so quickly, without taking too much time, I'll just uh, also run you guys by a Q. So Q has a very interesting feature called Quant. Which I don't know how many of you have seen it, right? My most favorite feature in Quant is basically the flashback. So what flashback does is, it plots all the trades you have done on historical charts of the underlying. So for example, on the Reliance chart, you can see that this is a point with I had bought Reliance stock, say on 5th of March, right? So this is a good way to actually sit down and analyze how you're trading and how your trading behavior is, right? You can essentially open charts for all the stocks that you have traded on and see which points you bought and sold, right? So a lot of people actually miss out on this, but I'd advise traders to actually go out and see all these reports, the time base, the market trends, so all of these reports has got some really interesting information on it. Um, so please go ahead and give it a shot. For example, the market trends tells me that, so like for example, I am profitable mostly on bullish days on the market. So if you go to Z Connect and search for quant, so there are blog posts that explain how each of these reports look like. How do you analyze each of these reports? So I'd suggest you to go and give that a shot as well, right? So now I will quickly so also show you all the Android app. So this I'm doing a screen share on using, I think, one of those apps. So it may not, the resolutions may not be that great, but um, so right. So let me just log into this. Right. So I am clicking on this. Okay, so firstly, the good thing that for everyone is kite-web and the mobile is in sync all the time, right? So whatever market watch you see there is what you see here. Whatever indicators you added on the chart there is the same indicators that you see here, right? So yeah, as I said, because I'm doing a screen share of a web app, so the resolution of how all of this is looking is probably not that great. But again, as you can see, the kite-android is really, really simple to use. So so you can say, for example, if you want to trade Reliance, again, you can just click on it. You have a buy sell button. You can get a market depth here, right? And to initiate the chart, you do here, right? Now we have this small little briefcase. As you can see, the briefcase is essentially showing you how many holdings you have. So if you have one holding, it'll say you have one holding. If you have 100 shares of Reliance, it'll show you 100 shares here. It's just uh, it's a way for us to quickly show you how and how many holdings you are having. So we again have multiple market watches in the Android. So if you click here, so you have an option to set, as you can see, there's the same market watch that that you saw on the kite-web. So you can switch between market watches. Searching the stock is the same engine. Like the way I said, in web, how you search is the same way you search on the Android, right? And um, so yeah, so if you want to delete a script, you have to uh, right swipe. So if you want to delete a script from the market watch, uh, right yeah, you swipe like this to delete. If you want to because I think this moment, some of the people have asked the question, how do I remove a stock from the market watch? If you want to remove, just hold right click, right swipe to right to left swipe to remove the script from the market watch. Okay, yeah, so sorry, it's not right swipe, it's right to left. So hold it on the right and then drag to the left, right? So yeah, so do this to delete, because there's a question that been asked most often. So now again, like I said, to search for indices, you can just say index and you can search all the index. All of this is same thing as on the desktop. So some of our clients ask that they want a quick view of the index somewhere. So we have also added it here in the menu, right? So right now it's Nifty. Sensex should be available soon. So you will be able to track Nifty and Sensex right from the thing, right? So you come to the menu and then you can see it, right? Again, all of these is actually quite straightforward. The order book, so pending, executed, right? So um, uh, if you want to modify, click on it. So click to modify, click to cancel, You can also get a details of all the orders by doing this, right? And uh, the briefcase takes you to both positions and holdings. Uh, so these are all my stocks and these are my holdings. So right, again, as I said, the notification which was on the web is also available on the Android, right? So right now, funds is again straightforward. So if you want to add, you come down and you click on add, and then uh, you can add the funds. So right, just give me a second. Right, so yeah, so uh now say you want to, I think, see, the thing is, like a lot of again, let me open the chart again, because I think a lot of our trading platform queries are around charts. I mean, um, yes, charts is really important, but like I was saying, so I mean, we have also put in a lot of love and effort um, into the into building the trading platform. It's actually, charting was actually, so we had an external library, so it was, charting was actually quite simple. Everything else is what has taken us a lot of effort, right? So on the chart, as you can see, I mean, so I'm again looking at it on a desktop, so it might look extended. This may not look like this on your sorry, on your mobile app, right? So we have a plus button, which can, you can essentially trigger the buy and sell orders directly from the chart. So this is on the mobile chart. Oh, okay, just give me a second. I think something happened to the screen. Oh, sorry. I think I hit on the button that just made me stop screen share. Right. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So yeah. So as I said, I think the thing about charting on the mobile is, I don't really know if all the studies can really be done on the mobile. So I think charting on the mobile should be more in terms of, like a reference point than anything else, right? So see, okay, so now the thing about chart is, I'm not able to show this here, right? But it's the very important thing is, a lot of people don't know how to scroll the chart left and right on the mobile, right? So because, as I said, I'm doing this share of web app, mobile app on the web based window. So so there is this button next to this refresh button on a mobile app, which is basically a button for crosshair, right? So if you want to move left and right, you have to disable the crosshair, right? Unless the crosshair is disabled, you will not really able to move your chart left and right uh, on the Android. So it's important that uh, you be able to do that. So you have to disable the crosshair to move the charts left and right. So also on the Android, the deleting an indicator can be a little tricky, right? So like I said, so you will so assuming I added this on my this thing, so uh, I have to deleting the indicator on the Android. You just have to hover your finger over the indicator and then hit delete, right? So yeah, so that's with Android actually. So I mean, there is um, Yeah, so I think this essentially what I have for for all of you as a demo, and I'll start taking questions now. One quick one, a lot of you have been asking us for an iOS app. The iOS app should be out in hopefully in the next 1 month. Now, also an important thing for all of you to know is kite-web works really well on the mobile. So open the web on your mobile browser. Go to kite.zerodha.com on your Safari or your Windows phone or your BlackBerry phone, and try using the web um, on your mobile, and it's quite close to um, to how a mobile app should look like, right? So what I'll do is hopefully I've covered everything that's there to know about the kite web-based platform. So what I'll do is I'll quickly start taking some questions, um, and yeah, so and hopefully be able to answer it, right? So just give me a second. So let me check out how I can take these questions. Okay, actually, what you can do is on the comment section, you can go out and ask me questions, and I'll try answering them. So right. Okay. So I guess a few of you are asking about the Kite APIs. So I mean, okay, if you actually go to kite.trade, right? Uh, so see, the thing is, so these APIs are essentially a layer over our Kite web-based trading platform. So just give me a second. Okay, so it's it's actually I don't really know how much I can talk about Kite APIs on how much I can talk about the Kite APIs on this webinar, because everything that's, I mean, if you're someone who's technically skilled, everything you need to know is actually out here already, right? So I'll keep this discussion to kite-web. So yeah, so let me start answering. Uh, okay, so let me start taking questions. Okay, so can stop loss be valid for 1 week or 1 month? Uh, See, this is something that we are working on. We are working on this whole valid till cancelled orders, right? So the reason for not being able to offer it till now is because exchanges in India don't support orders overnight. They don't support good till cancelled orders. So if we were to offer a valid till cancelled order, essentially what we have to do is we have to store all these orders at the end of the day at our side. If it's not executed, we have to place it once again for tomorrow. I think a couple of those, the banks or brokers are offering this. So yeah, hopefully we will also have it soon. So um, please show me how bracket order works. I think we will share the webinar, so I'm also going to make a blog post explaining all the features, so next week, so you can actually look at it. The webinar again will be available as a video on the YouTube, so you can check that as well, right? uh, Whoa, okay. BO for MCX, MCX uh, hasn't given approval for bracket orders. um, you lose kite settings on kite. Okay, so uh, right. Okay, so that's a lot of comments coming through. Okay, so IPOs. Uh, See, unfortunately, of offering online IPOs if you are not a bank is really really a big hassle for us as a broker. I mean, but that said, uh, you know we are planning to do it. So Right. Just give me a second. Okay, how to trade from the charts on kites? Currently not there. Uh, should be available really soon. So we are in a month's time we should have it. ECS for MF. Uh, uh, Again, it's on our list of things. But as long as you can have the money in the trading account, I think SIP using MF and Zerodha is really really simple. Okay, so like I just uh, okay, Bank Nifty weekly contracts. Hopefully Monday, so this Monday we should have it. NCD's searching bar in kite. I mean, it's actually quite simple. I mean, it's say NHAI N8, right? So you have it. So if you want to search for, so whatever was the bond that you are trying to search for, just search for it. So say it's Hudco N2, N3, N4. So you have all of that here. So uh, can AMI broker be linked to kite? Yes, of course it can be linked to kite, but through the kite dot trade APIs. So can you hold the share more than 1 year? Absolutely. So you can hold it for uh, you know as long as you want. uh, New version of kite, we just we just put up a new version of kite. So no new version of kite, but we are working on adding a lot of new features on kite. So um, NRIs trading. Okay, see, the thing is, at Zero, the NRI, to support an NRI trading the market is really, really tough for us, because how it works is, at the end of every day, we have to send the contract note. If you're an NRI client, we have to send the contract note to your bank. The bank in turn has to accept it and then send us the money. I mean, it's, that's one of the reasons the brokerage charges are high for NRI clients, because the effort that goes from our side is really, really high. NSE end of day data, I mean, of course it's available. You just had to come here and make it as a day chart. So make this as 1 day chart, and there you go. There's this NSE end of the day chart. Cover order in kite, like I just showed you in the video earlier. Click on buy or click on sell. Click on more options. You have regular, bracket, cover, and aftermarket orders. So uh, okay. Maximum duration of graph to see on kite. Actually it's really cool that if you are looking at 1 minute chart, for example, let me just open a minute chart. You can just keep going back in time. It's actually unlimited amounts of data. I think we are probably the uh, only platform in India. Even the data vendors on AMI broker just give you 3 months of intraday data. I think right now we have we have almost 1 year of intraday data from last Feb or something like that, and daily data I think we have from 2010 onwards. So um, why cover order squares off at 322 instead of 320? See, as I said, see, these square off times, there is no fixed time for this, right? As in, I mean, one of these days it could happen at 323, it could happen at 319. So it's what you should do is, I think you should not let us square this off for you. So ideally it's best that you square this off yourself. So where can I find live Nifty charts? It's straightforward again. Add Nifty index on the, see, like I've added Nifty index. Search for index. If you want Bank Nifty index, search for Bank Nifty index. You see this bank here, do a plus. Now Nifty bank index got added here. Click on it and say charts. There you go. So you have the Bank Nifty chart. So it's um, yeah, it's quite straightforward. And then you can change the time intervals right from here. So uh, Pi for Apple MacBook. Pi uses Microsoft .NET, for all. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think Pi for MacBook would is possible. Uh, so excuse me if I'm missing any questions, because there's just so much happening here. Okay, price alerts on kite. Not right now, but we are working on it. It will probably come, but it'll probably come as a premium feature, right? Now, pledging for mutual funds. Um, it's really tough to pledge mutual funds. I mean, operationally, it's really tough for us because mutual funds have single mutual funds can have 10 schemes. For example, if there is a reinvestment option of a mutual fund, if we take it as a for pledging. Now, when mutual funds credit us the reinvestment option, we will have to figure out where it has to go, and it's just a big operational hassle right now. So mutual funds pledging will probably take some more time, if we ever do it. So bracket orders, leverage, uh, is um, as I said, it's based on what stock or what contract you trade on. So it's up to 20 times. Uh, Tick data. So like I just explained a little while ago, it's see in a second there could be 100 ticks on one stock. So there could be thousands or millions of ticks that are happening on the exchange every second. So there is no way anyone actually can give you all the data over internet. So it's technically not possible. So the only way today to consume tick data is if you take a server on the exchange co-location. That means you're with the exchange on the LAN network. So on the LAN you can send as much data as you want. On the internet, in India, it's no way you can send anything more than 2 or 3 ticks a second per stock. So tick data, as I said, a lot of people talk about it online. I mean, I'd suggest you to actually say, if you come to trading Q&A, let me show you this here. So I think I've answered this on multiple times. So if you come on trading Q&A, search for stop loss. Not. So let me just show you the link. Okay. I said not showing on chart. There's like a on trading Q&A. Right, so if you search for this, I place this. Okay, so I've actually answered this here. So there's this whole explanation on tick data and etc. So search for what did I search for? Just give me a second. Search for price hit not showing on chart on trading Q&A. There is this answer where I've explained why it's not possible to show tick data on the chart. So bracket orders for MCX, until exchange. Until exchange approves, MCX offers, I don't think it's possible. So open trade will be let people try for before going for actual subscription. As see, as here, there are stars involved in the open trade thing. So I mean, they are on it for an incentive. So if they don't see an incentive, I don't know, so we'll not be able to attract good stars. So I don't think we'll be able to give what do you call a trial on open trade as such. So, and as I was saying, all these requests which are coming for cannot see volume in kite. You can of course see volume in kite. So so right now I'm looking at the index. So on an index there is nothing, no volumes, because no trading happens, right? So for example, if I open the Reliance chart here, so you can see the volumes. You can actually see the volumes at the bottom. You can also do one more thing. So you can actually search for volume. There is something called as a volume underlay. So if you place this, if you create this, the volume gets laid within the chart. I can close this now, and as you can see, there is an underlay of the volume candles within the chart. So it's sometimes more convenient to look at the underlay. So also, before I forget, so there is this views option that you see under the chart, right? So these are essentially views for you to set templates. So for example, if I click on my RSI template, Reliance with the RSI template open. So RSI template, I just have RSI indicator added, right? So you can have a moving average template, which will have a moving average showing up, right? So for example, now can I just give me a second? Say, let me open Cipla, right? Now, Cipla opens with the RSI, right? So once you set a template, so what you can do is you can add an indicator, for example, say add some studies, add, say, a moving average, just simple. Let me do it fast. Right, so I added a moving average. Now you can click on the plus button here and save it as a study. Say I save it as test study, right? I save it. Now this test study, right, I can keep it as a template and then open any stock that I want, any chart that I want here. So I can open, say, a Coal India, right? So, as you can see, the moving average plus the RSI just opened in it, So, toll-free number, guys, as I mean, I mean, our margins as a business is just ridiculously low, So a toll-free number would mean that, as I said, I mean, for us to be in the business and for us to keep spending money on building all these new tools, we need to earn some money as well, right? So, as in providing a toll-free number will cause us a big dent in our or for our revenues, So I don't think toll-free numbers is possible. Oh, I got the point, Jayesh. So you're asking for total volumes on this thing. So probably on the market depths, so which is not possible. But you can see, if you come down, and you open a chart, if you come here, you can actually see the total volumes traded for the chart. It's not available on within the market depth, but it's available here, So when you look at a chart, when you open a chart, just come down a bit, you can actually see the total volume traded. Data download from the chart is not possible. End of day data from Kite, So right. Please add cooperative banks. See, the thing is about cooperative banks is most cooperative banks don't have online payment gateways, So and and most of the popular payment gateways don't don't support cooperative banks as well, right? So as I said, guys, anything about new indicators. We are opening a marketplace where people can come start building new indicators, So option Greeks. So we are in a bunch of things that we are trying to do. We are also trying to build an option tool, which can give you Greeks and etc. Right? So should be available soon. Super trend on Pi. We have a new release of Pi next week. Should have super trend. Phew. Okay. So comparing two charts on one, that button should go live on Kite soon, So I mean, when I say soon, probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, you'll have a button, which will say compare, so you can then compare two stocks, So okay, so okay, guys, I think when will I introduce Nifty ticker on Kite? Nifty ticker is on Kite already, So as I said, you just have to search for Nifty. Now, I think a lot of you who have opened only trading accounts with us, you'll not be able to see price of stock and index, right? So if you want to see the prices of stocks and index, even though you don't intend to trade them, exchange mandates that there has to be a demat account mapped to the trading account. So you don't have to open a new demat account with us. If you have any other demat account, map it to it, and then you'll be able to see it. Paper trading, another project on work. Hopefully, it'll be up soon. So yeah, so the virtual trading, should be available soon. Market profile. If there is someone good out there who's good at coding, he can actually come and build market profile. As I said, we can put him up on the marketplace that we are intending to do. Okay, guys, I think that's all the questions I can take. So this gone for quite a bit now. So thanks a lot for joining the webinar. Sorry once again for having a delayed start. So and hopefully we'll have shorter webinars soon on explaining smaller things in more detail. Again, thanks a lot for joining in. You guys all have a good weekend and a great trading day on Monday. Bye.